Welcome to Growing, Flowing, and Going with Ashley Roche, and I'm Ashley Roche. I'm an awareness life coach, and what we do on this channel is just talk about current situations, current things going on, and the awareness and thought processes surrounding those types of things. When we get started, we take a moment of gratitude, and I'm going to light this Palo Santo and get in a positive headspace, a positive vibe. Just to start off the whole session, because I want everything to be based in a positive light and just an overall good vibe. I'm having trouble getting this lit. Just a second. And so what I'm doing, like I said, I'm just getting my area clean, getting some positive energy in here, and taking a moment of gratitude just to be thankful for everything. Thankful for the good, thankful for the bad things that you did make it through. Just being thankful. While we're sitting here, name off 3 things that you're grateful for. This is very important throughout each day. Every day that you wake up, that's your first thing to be grateful for. And it's very, very, very imperative because we have such hard days and we see such bad things all the time. So it's imperative that we take the time to look at what we're grateful for when surrounded by so much negativity and so many hard days. So we've done our moment of gratitude, and I am going to pull what I'm going to do on each episode. I'm going to pull affirmation cards of the day and a Believe in Your Own Magic oracle card. Affirmation cards, I'm sure a lot of you already know what they are, but they're just little daily reminders of the things that we may look over, things that we may forget, just to help keep you in line. The ones that I'm using now are the affirmators, and it is 50 affirmation cards to help you help yourself without all of the self-helpiness. Let's see what we get today. Today, the card is Get Centered. When it gets to be too much, whatever it is, I close my eyes and return to my center. In my center, I have the wisdom and tranquility of a bird holding a wand floating through a space on a couch. So basically what that is saying is that and as I was just saying, even with the moment of gratitude, this falls right in line with what I was saying. Coming back to center, remembering what you have to be grateful for, remembering to find peace. We are in a time where everything that you see is negative. You're seeing people being killed. You're seeing issues with the police. You're seeing things about COVID, about the vaccinations, about everything. And sometimes you have got to take the time to just stop and bring it in and check back in with yourself. Make sure you're in alignment. And now we are going to pull from the Believe in Your Own Magic oracle deck. And today's card is the Phoenix. And it says, how's that for a happily ever after? And so this oracle deck is really cool. It comes with a little book that tells you, the overall meaning of the cards. And the overall meaning for Phoenix is, no matter how hopeless you may be feeling at this moment, know this. Can and will survive whatever trials you've been put through. From the ashes of the past, you shall create a storybook ending filled with beauty and resilience. All future flames will cower when they hear the whisperings of your name. So this is perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And I think what it reminds us of is like, no matter where you came from, no matter what happened, no matter what you're going through, you can definitely rise from all of that. But even outside of that, you have the capability to rewrite your story. Not necessarily rewrite it, but you have the capability of changing the ending, changing your perspectives, changing the way that you see those events that took place. And that is one part of the life coaching and the self-awareness aspect that I love, is the fact that it gives you the opportunity to go back and to look at those places and those things that you've been in and be able to look at them from an older, more mature perspective, or even a new perspective altogether. There have been several situations in my life where I've carried the heaviness of things that I did, things that I regret, things that I was embarrassed about. And when I took a step back as an adult and looked at those things and thought about, some of the things that I've carried with me throughout life, first of all, I realized a lot of that was not even mine to carry. And even outside of that, I also understood that my thinking and my mind frame at that age, I cannot carry with me to this age. Who I was then is not the same person as who I am now. So why would I carry the same guilt? You have to leave that there. So I think that this is really a telling card when it comes to, yeah, I had this past, yeah, I did these things, but I can rewrite this entire story. I welcome you to rewrite it. So now we are going to get into my topics of the day. And this is crazy because I had to re-record this one because I forgot to take out my earbuds when I was recording, and it had the worst sound ever on it, ever. So this is my second time recording it, and I'm going over the same topics because they still need to be spoken about. So we're going into it, and what I wanted to touch on was the R. Kelly and the Brother Polite situation. And why did I group those together? Because they're the same things. What you have in both of these situations is underage girls and sexual abuse. And what made me want to talk about this isn't the nature of what happened. We all know what happened. It was the perspective surrounding it. When I would read the comments, and I've really been trying to stay off social media quite a bit because it does get really heavy. But when I'm reading through the comments of these, it's ironic to me how many people really blame the victim. And I'm not even, this isn't about victim blaming. What this is about is blaming children. So I get conflicted because I do not understand how, on the same hand, that people want kids to stay in a child's place, whenever something like this happens, they're no longer a child. They are fast-ass little girls. Oh, that fast-ass little girl knew better. Or that fast-ass little girl shouldn't have even been there. You're right, she shouldn't have. So who do we hold accountable in these situations? If we tell the truth about these situations, the people that are talking about the children, say the very same people that are saying, oh, these little girls, they don't know how to carry themselves, this, that, and the other, were the ones that were supposed to teach them. So I'm trying to figure out where we take accountability, or older people take accountability for dropping the ball. At what point do we stop saying, oh, these kids are so bad, whether male or female? Oh, these kids are bad, these kids ain't got no manners, they don't understand nothing, they don't know shit. And we were the ones that were supposed to teach them. Who dropped the ball? Because you can't blame it on the kids. You can't blame it on the kids. In the Brother Polite situation, the little girl was 14 years old. That was one of his girlfriends. He asked her if he could take her daughter to a after party. She's 14. He asked her if he could take her to an after party, and she agreed. For him to take her 14-year-old daughter to an after party. Now, the first question is, especially with a significant other or boyfriend, whatever it is, why the hell you want to take my 14-year-old daughter and I'm sitting right here? That's the first question. But even outside of that, the after party or the club they were supposed to be going to was closed. And instead of taking this child home, sorry, it is something in my eye. Instead of taking this child home, he took this child to a room, tried gave her alcohol and drugs, and tried to force her to perform oral sex on him. So when her mother finds her child's lips are severely swollen, and there are bodily fluids on her. She took her to the hospital, did the rape kit, this, that, and the other, and then he was arrested for it. In the R. Kelly situation, you have someone that actively sent people to look for kids. Actively sent people to look for children. Whenever he got the children, had them dressing in Girl Scout clothing with pigtails and this, that, and the other. And y'all literally will still get under these comments, not y'all, but people will literally still get under these comments and say where these kids are the problem. In both of these situations, there were adults involved. I don't care if she did look like she was 18, 19, 20, especially as a superstar. You yourself know that you have to cover your own tracks. You didn't ask for ID. The one little girl was at his after party. At R. Kelly's after party. In the comments, all you see is she shouldn't even been there with her fast ass. Woo, 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 woo. You're right, she shouldn't have been there. So where were the parents? Where was the guardian? Where were the other adults in the room that can clearly see that she's too young? Now, this is something that kind of hits home for me, simply because I was one of those young girls that were talking to older men. So I'm talking from a place of experience. And what I do know is that, number one, these men do not care. I never had to lie about my age. And it was never an issue. Never an issue. Number two is that in my young mind, they had everything that I thought I needed. They had some money. They had cars. Matter of fact, they had everything that I didn't have. Why wouldn't, as a child, why wouldn't that look impressive to me? It's impressive to grown-ass women, so why wouldn't that look impressive to me? At what point does the adult in the situation say, oh no, baby, you too young? And the one thing that I need everybody to know is little young girls ain't even that bold. Those men are walking up to those little girls. So at what point does the adult in the situation get held accountable? At what point do we hold the parents and the guardians and the people before them that have not instilled certain things, have not taught certain things, have not guided people? Who gets held accountable outside of the kids? It's too easy to shift the blame and say, oh, well, she shouldn't have been there. And the real issue, the biggest issue of this whole situation for me is that people do not like to hold men accountable for anything. It's always, oh, that little girl knew better. Oh, those girls knew better. Women this, girls that. At what point, and it starts from a very young age. In a lot of our culture's homes, the boys have no responsibility. They get coddled. They don't have to do anything. But the girls have all of the responsibility. They take care of the other siblings. They take care of the house. They do all of the adult things while the sons get coddled. Now, my other thing is this. It is not kids' responsibility to take care of the home. It's not kids' responsibility to take care of the other siblings. It's not kids' responsibilities to figure out how bills and whatnot are going to get paid. But we do it. Some people do it. Okay? So, in this situation, with the men and all of this, they need to stay in a child's place. But in the home, they have to do all the adult shit. Do you see where that doesn't make sense? When you give a child a whole bunch of responsibility, when you treat a child as an adult in certain areas, what makes you think that it's not going to spill over into other areas? This child was never even given the ability to be a child. So what makes you think that it's not going to spill over into this area? They don't even have the experience of being a child, so you wonder why she acts so mature. She acts too grown. But in the house, we put those responsibilities on her. We didn't let her be a child. Oh no, I need you to watch these kids. I need da-da-da. You probably need to find you a job or something so you can help around the house. Pick a struggle. Do they need to be kids, or do we want them to be adults? Pick one. Pick one. I'm waiting. I'm waiting because I see all of this. Everybody's talking really, really reckless, but none of us are paying attention to the part that we play in it and the things that we push out there to make this okay. None of us are accepting responsibility for anything. We're putting it on children. How do you put that responsibility on children? Factor it in like this. Let's say that a person lives to be 80 years old. At the age of 20, they have only lived 1/4 of that life. What do they know in 1/4 of that time? Now, take them back to 17, 16, 15, 14. Those are babies. Those are babies. Those are babies. We have grown women, including myself, still trying to work through the traumas of being introduced to things too early. Being introduced to things that I never should have saw, stresses that I never should have had, pressures that I never should have even come in contact with too early. But out of the same mouth, you will say that somebody of that age should know better, but not give any accountability to the people that were supposed to be guiding them and the person that is manipulating them. And I'm not saying like, you don't have to go full on boycott like everybody else. You don't have to do that. I'm not even saying that. But what I'm saying is acknowledge what you're doing, because you're causing just as much damage to these children that the person that did it caused. You're on the World Wide Web. You think there aren't little girls that are in those situations reading those comments and seeing how y'all think about them and they're not even the issue? Like, what? And women, we women that go through that type of shit. I grew up my whole preteen era being called a batch of hoes. Oh, she a hoe, she da-da-da, she messing with you, she da-da-da. Like, first of all, half the stories I heard wasn't even my stories. But the ones that were true, I was being called hoes. But wasn't nobody calling these niggas pedophiles. But let's keep it all the way 100 here. First of all, you can tell how old the girl is off her conversation. If you ask her what's going on in her life and all she got to talk about is what happened in school, what they tell you. She ain't even living no life. If all that she talking about is how she got to watch the kids, she can't go nowhere. And this is, I'm only saying it from experience. Whenever one of the people I was talking to, fucking with, whatever you want to call it, would call me and be like, say you want to woo, or I can't, I got to babysit. What that tell you? What do that tell you? Y'all need to quit acting like they slow. Them dudes ain't slow. They know what's popping. They know you young. Off a conversation, they know that these kids are young. The conversation alone says, this is a young girl. I don't care if I told you I was 22. If every time you call me, I got to babysit, or my mama said, or I'm in my mama's house, I ain't got shit. You know I'm young. I ain't got shit to give you. I ain't got shit to offer you. I ain't got nothing. I have nothing but my body. And you got what I want. You got some money. You got the status. So you mean to tell me that a 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, you mean to tell me that they're going to distinguish the difference? Oh, no, I shouldn't do that. You have grown-ass women that can't resist a celebrity. And y'all want kids to do it? Y'all want kids to do it? And y'all want to place the blame on the kids when they don't do it? I need understanding. I need understanding. But no, I don't need understanding. What we need is awareness. Awareness. Know that this child is a victim. Pay attention to all of the things that are victimizing this child. And then ask yourself if you're complicit in these types of things. Everybody wants to change the world, but nobody wants to change themselves. Not realizing that if everybody checks their own thoughts, checks themselves, and tries to be a better person, collectively it creates a better world. Makes sense, right? So whenever we see these things and we're so quick to judge and we're so quick to say, oh, she shouldn't have been doing this. Oh, where is, we don't know these people's stories. We do not know these young girls' stories. But what we do know is that this is a grown-ass man who knew better. This is a grown-ass woman who let her child go with her boyfriend to after party. There are so many adults to be held accountable in these situations that we skip over. And 9 times out of 10, let me tell you what causes it to be skipped over. Number one, we've done it before and don't want to accept responsibility for the fact that we were wrong. And number two, those men that be in the comments, like, she probably lied about her age. Let me tell you something. They probably done did it too. Or they got a homeboy to do it. And they don't want to admit that they're pedophiles too. They don't want to admit that they have engaged in pedophile behavior. Now, do I consider myself a victim because of things that happened to me, positions that I was in at a young age? No, I don't consider myself a victim. But that's because I worked through my trauma. But what I won't say is that I didn't have issues regarding that, especially when it came to the way that I felt about myself, especially when it came to sexuality as a whole. Like, those things leave lasting effects. It's not just she's a fast-ass little girl. And then, a lot of you men, women can be predatory too. But see, it's looked at for men as a badge of honor. No, you were molested, whatever you want to call it. It's not a badge of honor for an adult to be fucking with a kid. Sorry. Like, that just kind of is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But the way that it's looked upon in society, when it's a boy, oh, it's kudos. It's kudos. He bagged the old type shit. Kudos. But when it's a little girl, she should have known better. What? Is this what we giving our kids and can't figure out why they are emotionally unintelligent, unstable, depressed, anxious? This is what we giving our kids? We need to pay attention to that. That is something that needs to be paid attention to. Now, for my next topic, we are going to talk about the Boosie and the baby situations. And the part of awareness that I hope that everyone gets from this is finding out what's your business and what ain't. So, Boosie has been very, very vocal about his stance on the homosexual community and how it's wrong and how there's an agenda. And of course, he had a response to what the baby said on the stage. And of course, he's like, oh, the whole freedom of opinion and whatnot. And the thing is, yes, you do have a freedom of opinion. You have the freedom to say what you want to say. And people have the freedom to not fuck with you. This is real simple. Now, the issue that I have is that when we jump on bandwagons with these celebrities and the things that they say, we don't pay attention to how they contradict themselves. We don't pay attention to the fact that his homophobia, regardless of what he says, because he did come out and say he's not homophobic because he has a gay, his manager is gay. More on that later. But that's just like when white people say they're not racist because they have a black friend, but I'm going to leave that there. Okay. But the issue is that I listened to Boosie. And I've listened to him for years. Back in the gap. Before too many people was really listening to him. And I know y'all remember 2 red bones kissing in the back seat. I know y'all remember they died. So do you have an issue with homosexuality, or do you have an issue with homosexuality that isn't sexually pleasing to you? Because it's okay if it's 2 women. You okay with that? Because it's sexually pleasing. And the irony in it is that most men are okay with watching 2 women. They're not okay with watching 2 men. That's a little conflicting because it's being said that there's an agenda being pushed, But you push the very same agenda through the music. That guy can, two red bones kissing in the backseat, hyping that shit up. But now there's an agenda being pushed, and you were one of the first ones to push it. But it isn't that there's an agenda being pushed. They feel like because it's more prominent or you're seeing more of it, that something is being pushed and they're pushing it on the kids. First of all, quit using these kids as a scapegoat for your homophobia. Number one. Number two, how is there an agenda being pushed? There's no agenda being pushed. What it is people aren't afraid to be who they are anymore. People aren't hiding it anymore. When that man got on Instagram and said, "Show me your pussy, I give you $1,000," y'all thought that was not as damaging as two gay people showing genuine love for each other. He literally got on there and said, "Show me your pussy, I give you $1,000." But there's a gay agenda that's ruining your kids. Okay. So I just kind of wonder if people were just as mad at Boosie whenever he paid a grown woman to molest his son and his nephew. I want to say it was his son and his nephew. I might have the relations twisted. But he paid a grown woman to have oral sex with some kids. But this is the spokesperson for why homosexuality is wrong, for an agenda that's being pushed. What agenda? There is no agenda. The thing is that you're seeing it more frequently. It's more highlighted. They are putting gay couples and whatnot in shows, and people don't like it because it makes them uncomfortable. It's not your thing. It also ain't your business. As long as gay people were uncomfortable with no representation, no anything, everybody was fine. But now that there's representation, there's an issue. There's an issue because there's representation, because it's not being hidden. We grew up watching black lawyers and doctors on TV, well put together homes with mothers and fathers and the kids, hardworking men. Like, we grew up watching all of this. And a lot of us don't have it. So I'm trying to figure out what agenda is being pushed on TV if it didn't make us go a certain direction. Even outside of that, can't nobody make you be gay. You can't make somebody like they do something that they don't like. If they don't like it, they don't like it. You cannot make someone like something that they do not like. If that's the case, I can turn you, a straight person, gay. Now, I have always been with men for all of my life, up until about 2 years ago. And then I got in a relationship with a woman. Now, was it something that was like, oh, I'm not fooling with men no more, I'm just gonna try women? No, it wasn't that. I met somebody and I genuinely fell in love with this person, right? Genuinely fell in love with this person. Now, me falling in love with a certain person, and I have children, I have kids. My kids witness this love every day. You know what? My kids like what they like, and they live in the home with me, have always been with me, and they still like what they like. You cannot turn somebody gay. There's no agenda. Like, the thing is that y'all think that kids don't know what they like, but they do. Because when I was in elementary school, I had a crush on a little boy. You know why? Because I liked little boys. And you know what? I still like boys. Still. Nobody can change my mind on that. Nobody can change the direction, the way that someone's attraction works. And y'all are saying these kids are too young to know what they like, and the TV is putting this and that in their head, and y'all know what y'all like, the music y'all kids listen to. So it's okay if he a killer. And it's okay if he goes spend 1,000,000 years in the penitentiary for the justice system doing free ass labor and wasting away their life. All of that is okay. Just don't be gay. Don't be gay. Don't be a genuine, loving, caring, moral person, but be gay. Don't do that. But do all of this other shit. Just make sure you straight. But then, when you see the suicide rates going up and depression skyrocketing and everything under the sun, everybody gonna pretend like they didn't do nothing. Everybody gonna pretend like why they didn't just tell me. What you mean why they didn't tell you? Because they've heard you talk. They've heard the way you speak. People that cannot accept their child for whatever their child may grow up to be, may grow up to like, do not need to have kids. You do not, even though that is your child that you created, you don't get to narrate and dictate what that child becomes, contrary to popular belief. They are their own person. You don't get to dictate that. So if you can't be open enough to love a child, regardless of that, because that is your child, you don't need to have kids. Your kid might grow up to have ideologies and thought processes and beliefs that are different than yours. And if you're not in a position to accept that, you need to not give birth. You need to not make a child. You need to not do anything along the lines of procreation. Like, I'm not understanding where we do not understand that certain things just are not our business. What goes on in people's bedrooms is not our business. And I understand that people are going to say, well, the Bible says everybody don't believe in that. Everybody don't have the same beliefs and thought processes. Everybody don't live the same way. You do not have to agree, but respecting other people's thought processes is vital to making it in this world. You don't have to agree, but understand that whenever you say something, the people that you alienate have every right to not fuck with you. Cancel culture is not getting out of hand. What y'all are seeing is people having boundaries. People are putting boundaries on where they spend their money. People are putting boundaries on the type of time and the type of energy that they give to things. So if you get up there and alienate your whole base and they cut your ass off, it is what it is. That's your free speech right. And they got the right to not fuck with you. And then for the people in the back that keep saying, don't nobody do all this when it's black people and da-da-da-da-da. When it comes to the gay people, they'll shut down everything. They'll cancel. Woo-hoo. Black people ain't consistent fighting. We get mad, but we don't stay mad no. We get mad, but we don't get mad enough. We ain't mad enough to not spend our money. We not mad enough to, matter of fact, we'll look and see a black business and be like, nah, they too hot, but go buy a Gucci belt. Let me tell you the issue with that. Do you know the resources that Gucci has? They probably spent a hot $12 on that belt. I mean, maybe not, but I'm just saying. When you see a small black business that is building, they do not have those resources, so their markup has to be higher. But in the same voice, want to say, black people, when it's something black people don't do it. Okay, so the gay community stick together. The gay community say, if you alienate us, we ain't fucking with you. Because they know the power in their dollar. They know the power in the money they spend. Y'all mad because they got more staying power? Y'all mad because they can stay mad? Like nothing that is being said around this situation makes any sense to me, because we all need to become aware of what is and isn't our business. We also need to become aware of when we speak on something, whatever backlash comes from it is what comes. So whatever you say, stand on it. And I will give Boosie that. He's standing on that shit. He's standing on that shit. He's standing on what he believed to be true, and that's fine. That's fine and dandy. But what I will say is, before you go to calling out somebody else front yard, you damn sure better make sure you don't sweep around yours. You damn sure better make sure yours is clean. Because we got acts of pedophilia. We know you okay with homosexuality as long as it's something sexually pleasing to you. We gotta be aware of who is speaking for us, who is putting this shit out there, who is driving these narratives. Be aware of that. Be aware of that. Don't forget anything. Be aware of what's being said and how it's being said and what position we play in the narratives that are being pushed out here. Because just because you find one, excuse me, just because you find something that, oh yeah, I agree, we ride with him till the wheels fall off. Oh, okay, so you ride with him because y'all share the same hate. You ain't mad about the pedophilia? You not mad? Y'all not mad about that? Y'all just mad because two people of the same sex just so happen to love each other. Y'all are mad about that? Or you're mad about the fact because your Bible, your beliefs, your shit, somebody else ain't following your shit. That's yours. That's yours. So what we need to be aware about in this is that everyone does not live the same way as us. Everyone does not have the same beliefs. And everything is not your business. Life becomes so much less, life becomes less stressful when you realize what is and isn't yours to worry about. It's not yours. It's not yours. As long as it's not causing harm to you or those around you, give it back. Get out them people business. Nobody is trying to brainwash your kids. Nobody. Because the biggest effect on that child is going to be what happens in their home, not what's outside of it. So I'm going to leave that there and let y'all think about it. But every now and then we need to go in and check ourselves. Because all we do is use other people's differences as a way to boost our own self-esteem. And that don't work for long. So, there's that. The next thing that I want to talk about is the vaccinations. Now, I don't care what nobody do. I don't. The vaccinations, if you choose to get vaccinated, that's your business. If you choose not to get vaccinated, that's your business. Not my decision to make, not my reason to call. But what I will say is that we are not paying attention to the fact that people on both sides have their reasoning. People on both sides have their reasoning for why they're getting it and why they're not getting it. And if we keep it all the way 100, the government hasn't given many reasons for you to trust them. So I understand the people who say, hell no, I ain't getting it. I also understand the other people who say, I'm getting it. What I don't understand is how people do not understand that this is being used to divide the masses and take away civil liberties at the same time. Now, I saw a post and someone was saying that they felt like if people chose to not get vaccinated, that they shouldn't be treated in the hospitals or whatnot when they get sick. So if someone doesn't take the vaccination for the flu and they get the flu, they shouldn't be treated. If you eat unhealthy, eat a bunch of lard, butter, fried chicken, motherfucking seasonings and shit, and you go in with high blood pressure, clogged arteries, this, that, and the other, you shouldn't be treated. If you don't work out or don't properly take care of your body and you have an issue in your body, you shouldn't be treated. Do y'all see where I'm going with this? Do you see where I'm going with this? Do y'all see how ridiculous that sounds? That sounds absolutely ridiculous. And the issue with it is that there is such a bigger picture to it that people do not even realize that they are accomplices in it. They are taking away liberties and freedoms right before your eyes, and they're doing it by instilling fear in you. So you're so scared, you're like, here, please take over bodies. Please take over bodies and give nobody the right to say, no, I don't want that in my body. No, I don't want you doing that to me. Please take all of my freedoms because I'm scared. Because I'm scared of something that has a 99% survival rate. Now, are people getting sick? Yes. Are people going to the hospitals? Yes. Are people dying? Yes. But you know why you think there's so many more than what they are? It's because that's all they push in your face all damn day long. That's all you see all day. They push that shit in your face all day long. Of course you're terrified. They did it so you would be terrified. They put a death ticker in the bottom of the TV to show you every time somebody died from COVID. But somebody dies from heart disease every 36, 37 seconds. They're not telling you to eat better. They're not telling you to get it in order. They're not telling you to quit eating this bullshit that they give you. They're not telling you, hey, these natural things help clear your body. They're not telling you any of this. I need y'all to pay attention. This is bigger than vaccination. Because what we have learned is vaccinated people still get sick. Vaccinated people still pass it around. Vaccinated people still die. Vaccinated people are having heart issues. We have found this out, right? And this isn't to deter anybody. What I'm saying is there are two ends of the spectrum that need to be considered. And at the end of the day, what everybody needs to do is make the best decision for themselves. Because if y'all start up this big ass war, you're accomplice in them taking away freedoms. And it's okay right now because the freedoms that they're taking away don't affect you because you got vaccinated or whatever. So it doesn't affect you. Yeah. Because first it's the vaccination. Now we have taken over what you can and can't do with your body. We have taken over your own rights to your body. Next, it's something else. Because you gave up those rights previously out of fear. This is really, really simple. Like they are literally, this is being used as something to divide people. This is not a time to be divided. This is a time to respect differences of opinion, to say, okay, cool, that's not my thing, whatever, but let them have their way. That's their business. That's their business. Because the argument that the unvaccinated people are going to get everybody sick, vaccinated people, if the shot does what they said it did, and it lowers your symptoms or they're very mild, or you won't even know you have it and you'll be running around passing this shit around. This shit is on both spectrums. Anybody can give it to anybody. Why are we fighting like this about this? Why are people being called selfish? Because they don't know the effects of something and don't want to participate in it. Me putting gas in my car is not going to make your car run. If you scared, stay at home. And I am not downplaying the situation at all, but what I'm saying is there is such a bigger picture to this that everybody is missing because they want to be right. They want to be the one that's right. Oh, I'm right. It ain't about right or wrong right now. It's about giving away your liberties and not paying attention to the fact that you are giving away your freedoms. And you feel okay about it right now because it's not affecting you because you're on the other side until it affects you. This is just the beginning. At this point, everybody needs to be on one accord. It was the race shit. We've been seeing that shit back and forth. Now it's vaccinated against unvaccinated. No, we have got to be aware of what's going on. We have got to pay more attention to what they are doing. Whenever you are being led out of fear, whenever something is being given to you fear-based, you have got to ask the questions, why? Why are they pushing this in such a way that, why is it so, why? Because they know media ain't your friend. Media ain't your friend at all. Like, not your friend at all. Media will tell you whatever they are told to tell you. Just because you saw it on the news does not make it fact. It does not, like, and I get it because that's where people get their information from. But you have the World Wide Web. You have this, you have that. It doesn't scare y'all that people are being censored. We were just talking about, Boozy talking about you should have the freedom of speech, and they're censoring people who have documentation and things like that go against the narrative that they're trying to push. Those people are being censored. That's not scary to you. It's not scary that you don't have the freedom to pick what you want to believe. This is not about vaccinations. This is about respecting other people's opinions, respecting other people's lives, and respecting other people's bodies the way that you want yours respected. This is really, really simple. You cannot get mad because everybody is not as fear-driven as you. You cannot get mad because people do not believe the same thing that you believe. You are stressing yourself all the way out on a regular basis. Unplug for a few minutes. Pull that shit out. Quit watching so much TV. Find yourself some peace. And take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Take the proper precautions. Eat better. Add you some supplements. Add you a vitamin, which is what I'm going to tell you to do later. But these are the things that, if you're that driven by the fear of what they're giving, what they're pushing out there, just make sure you're taking care of yourself. But what's really selfish, is thinking that just because you believe something in a world full of people that everybody should agree. And if they don't agree with you, it's okay to take away their freedoms. That is selfish. Now, I won't say, I just agree with both sides. I see why people got it. I understand why they got it. I understand why people didn't get it. I also understand that is not my business. That's not my business. The only thing that I'm responsible for in this life is myself and the people that I brought in here. Other than that, it's not my business. Please, please, please pay attention to what is going on. Please pay attention to what's going on with the government, with the types of laws that they're passing, the bills that are being. Please, please, please pay attention. This is bigger than the vaccinations. Now, I have to hurry up, y'all, because I really went over the time frame I wanted to go over, but these were topics that really just, whatever. But, so, the three things that I want us to kind of pay attention to this week are, for our mental, unplug from social media, unplug from online sources, unplug, take a minute for yourself. And I know for some people there's real addiction, so it's going to be kind of hard, but slowly do it. If it's not, okay, I'm going to unplug for 30 minutes a day and work your way up. Just unplug, find yourself, find you something other than social media to do. It's driving you crazy and you don't even realize it. Unplug. And spiritually, what I want everyone to do is, no matter what your religion is, what you believe in, connect to that source. Connect to, whatever it is that you believe in. Sit down, connect to yourself, connect to that source. Get grounded. Find where your faith is and find your beliefs. Get back in tune with yourself, your beliefs, and your spirituality, whatever it may be. Get back into that. Because I think that what we're doing is we're letting what's on the outside affect us so much that we forget the power that we do have. And I think that we all need to take time to just separate from that, sit down, get grounded, connect back to what you believe in and your belief systems, and find that peace again. And physically, find you a vitamin, take you some vitamins, or if you like herbs, herbal teas. We also sell herbal teas on dopegodsco.com. It's www.dopegodsco.com. Dope Gods hoodie. And also, this is one of our intention candles. This one is Cleanse and Purify, and it is a lemon chiffon vanilla soy candle. We hand make all of them. It's the best ingredients. Smells amazing. And you can also get those there. But what I'm drinking right now is one of the herbal teas, the herbal bag teas that we have on there. And this one is It's a Vibe tea. And it's really good. It has hibiscus in it, hibiscus, lavender, chamomile, and mullein leaf and raspberry leaf tea. So we do have those prepackaged and whatnot. There's different ones on there as well if you just aren't a person who wants to even store all of that in your space. We do have them there as well, so y'all can check those out. But add some type of vitamins, fruits and vegetables, things that help your immunity. Also, in the mornings, I drink alkaline water with key lime in it and a little bit of honey just to help the taste. But key lime water first thing in the morning is great for you. It's packed with vitamins. It's great for your immune system. You know, just do those things to like keep your body, your immune system up, keep your mind clear, and disconnect from all this extra. And that is all I have to say today. Thank you for joining me on Flowing, Growing, and Going. And I will see you next time. I am out.